experimented with, but I have done almost like scientifically, like first I tried what would a quarter trip be like, and then a month later I tried what would be a half like, and then a month later I tried what would be a full trip like. And then I also had trip sitters in these situations, like friends who I can trust. And so if I get too worried or whatever, they will be there to calm me down. And I did have some visions, but I did, like a year later, I did again mushrooms, and I tried like half a trip. But then I didn't even have a trip sitter, and it was as strong as a full trip. And I got a little bit scared, but because I have been doing like daily meditations and stuff, so I was able to get through it, and it was nice after all. But you know, it's quite heavy stuff, so no, I'm not not recommending just like that. But I got my curiosity done with this. This is like photo of very tiny one. And San Pedro cactus also, I tried that. And so there is San Pedro cactus in Andes area, and peyote in like USA, Mexico area, like smaller cactus that is stronger. Like this, and they have mescaline, which was one of my favorite party drugs in New York. But anyway, so this was like lots of work to cook this, and it tasted horrible, and I don't think it was very effective. But I got some ideas as if multiple realities make sense. I mean, things that are very abstract and difficult, and this light trip with this, it made sense. But well, I have done that, but no need to do more. And this is one painting I found from the internet, that there is this story about like Lapland in northern Finland and Siberia. The shamans there used to feed these mushrooms. What are these called? That are red and have white dots. They used to feed them to reindeers and then drink the pee of the reindeer. So the reindeer doesn't get any poisonous. And but the bee has the hallucinogenic, but doesn't give you like stomach problems. And it is said that the story about flying reindeers as like Christmas story, it comes originally from this tradition. But anyway, I think you really have to try, want to do a trip if you do this process. And well, when I have been in Spain, I have been trying to study everything in Spanish. So even if some of the things don't make sense, at least I will develop my Spanish language. And this was one book over 400 pages, and it El viaje definitivo, like the ultimate trip. It was about use of LSD in therapy contexts for cancer patients, those who were afraid of dying. And with often these trips, they got into the other side. And then after the trip, they were not so afraid, but it was in like therapy context that you lie down and you take the dosage and have nice music on and eyes closed. And there were even some really scary trips, like someone experienced that they were drowning in blood. So, I mean, everything is possible in trips, and then you say that the setting is important, that you don't have any stress or any big problems, and things are very calm and nice, and then you can expect better trips. And more of these kind of authors or books that I could recommend. Eckhart Tolle, this is Aura Now. And then this I read a history about witchcraft in Spain. So then I got the idea of that, like back then, how the witch trials were, that anyone who was trying to do something different than the official church, then they were told that they are witches, and even atheists would be treated as witches back then. But still now in some countries like Saudi Arabia, you get death sentence if you are atheist. So there's still some kind of witch hunt going on. Osho, good person to read to. And then there's this Finnish book about Valonkan, this like Finnish esoteric occultism. And unexpected spiritual teacher Geoffrey was born in Uganda, has been my internet friend, and now he's in Kenya. But because in Uganda they have this attitude that gays are the scariest devil witches and they need to be killed, so he basically had to get out of the country to stay alive. But then in Kenya he was in a refugee camp, but even there it was too dangerous because the other refugees are homophobic and even the guardians there are like that, and so they got into some safe space in Nairobi. But then they didn't have enough funding, so they were all basically just had to find their own ways. But he has been quite good in writing and asking help from foreigners for this situation. So he and his friend were able to rent a place and buy some food, and now they are on some waiting list to get into some safer country. So this is also like, this lecture is free. I had option to have admission, but I'm not taking any money from this. But you could donate to people like this and help, because I would say that I'm one of those more fortunate queens, even though I'm not rich, but still, like, I can eat well and sleep well every night, and I don't have to worry that police comes and takes me to the jail for the rest of the life because I just had a romantic night with someone last week. So, but these people have that kind of everyday problem, so we could help. And from that, the queerwitchproject.com web page where I introduced my next art project, there is also a little chapter and link about this kind of experience, what I also felt when I have been writing with him for a year. And then there's links to donations. So help these less fortunate ones, so they could, get better lives too. And about dressing up in women's clothes, it's this thing like what Iggy Pop says, I'm not ashamed to dress like a woman because I don't think it's shameful to be a woman. And when I was young, some people were teasing me at school because, oh, he's just like a girl, but I didn't really get it because I thought girls are fabulous, so anyway. But then who was it? Someone had said that I'm not dressed in women's clothes, these are my clothes, I bought them. So. And in Spain, they have had many lectures about like witchcraft or magic and art. And in galleries, they have had this kind of events also with Oya board. And when I read about the history of witchcraft in Spain, they said that in Spain it wasn't that bad the prosecution than in other European countries. So it could be that's why that the Spanish are a little bit more relaxed and kind of feel like, oh, you do what you want to do. And some YouTube channels in Spanish, I started following Ivan Donald from Mexico, Martin Laplace from Argentina, and then this is Claudio Naranjo from Chile. He's a psychiatrist and anthropologist and has studied ayahuasca cultures, and he's also telling that many of us feel now that it's time for a change, like if past thousands of years this like male dominant culture with like hierarchies and competition and fighting and conquesting new places, it's, you know, we don't have any new places to fight over. We should now switch mentally and be more kind of feminine and like take care and have empathy and nice. But you know, these kind of theories are in many fields. You can find them. And one of those YouTube channels that I actually kind of fancy this one, Leon Valverde, is Revelation Humana, and he had this one section when he was explaining all different kinds of aliens and stuff, but yeah. And then like I was thinking that the queer witches, like why this art project and why queer witches could be important is that the scientists basically know that the Earth is not doing well, and they have calculated what could be a good thing to do, but nothing actually happens. And the biggest environmental problem is that people are selfish and greedy and apathy. And to make a change, we need spiritual and cultural transformation. So I'm trying to do with art a bit of this. And also being queer is not a phase, capitalism is. Like we can question the system what is now, like all the time economy growing and consuming more and more, and it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, that was that part. And now little bit of samples of queer witches. Some of these I have photographed already, and some I might later, or people I know, but I haven't even talked about my art project, but I think that they could be good. This is Alison Gotts, originally from Brazil, now lives in San Francisco, and is part of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, or how was it called? So they do kind of like spiritual charity work. And Armen Ra, one of those New York club kids, now Armen plays theremin. And his shows are magical, and they have made a movie about Armen and even tarot cards. And then I think Borja is a little bit a witch too. Borja Bena, because in one of my mushroom trips he appeared in my visions, and it kind of made sense. And then it was like he was like telling, oh yeah, we DJs are the ones who make the connections, or help making the connections. Bright Daffodil. She has written a book called Hospital for the Soul. I mean, she had a big transformation in her life, and then she has been getting visions from ayahuasca. Like one, for example, was that she felt that she was one of those test bunnies, and that was a really horrible thing. And then that kind of inspired her to, you know, talk about animal rights and, I mean, these kind of even horrible experiences and trips can be inspirational in doing something good. And then some witches I photographed in Helsinki. This is Fuckery One Flesh. And Carlotta More, who also makes short films. And this is one of those club kids who was flatmate back then in New York, Jesse Santiago. And some of his current looks quite magical. And from Spain, Diego Ramboa, he's actually like almost finishing studies to get doctor's degree in art history and is into this queer magic witchcraft thing. So these younger people are teaching me now. And one of the things Diego did is kind of logo, I don't know if there's some other word for this, about his practice or ideas. And some of the young ones in Finland, Illuminatrix. And the funny thing is that my birthday is exactly the same day as his father's, 14th December 68. And Illuminatrix, his birthday is also 14th of December, but much later. It was like 16 or 17. Now he's already 18, but even when you have a name like Illuminatrix, young people are already tuned into this like spiritual development or something, and these young people can see 2,000 makeup tutorials before they are 15, and I was only 19 when someone told me how to glue eyelashes on. And Jani Tolin from Helsinki, he also knows about ayahuasca and has told some scary stories too. Like at some, because there's also, ayahuasca is very popular now and there is business and people expect some miracles and blah blah blah, but someone who has kind of lost their mind in this kind of thing was that, when there are shamans and some are not real, some are just like acting as, but those who are in the trips, they can see the same trips. And this person who got mentally destroyed, they all see that these alien, like mantis creatures, just attacked this person in that dimension at that time. And it must have been really, really scary, but so these are not light things, but if some shaman has been studying these all his life, it's more likely that they can guard off these scary creatures in those mental states. And Joanna Londinium, this is some club picture from the notice, and she's starseed and often posts like inspirational quotes on Facebook and stuff. And starseed is that kind of person who has had their past lives in other galaxies, planets, and now have been born here to help raise the vibration and educate people. And in some other theories, they think that everyone is a starseed, so everyone is have past lives in other planets, and everyone is multidimensional. But then if you start thinking about the multidimensional thing, that this reality and time is also illusion, that we are all actually one, and we are all actually could be anyone else in other dimensions, but it gets crazy if you start thinking too much into that. But anyway, everyone is multidimensional intergalactic being. And here is Joanna in a book cover. And some local ones in Helsinki. Johannes, he had collected all kinds of images from different kind of gods or spiritual beings in all different religions and cultures, and then made an own categorization of like different kind of energies and stuff. He had this folder that you could choose from all different rainbow colors, and what kind of energy do you want, and then he gives this like healing meditation, and it was good. I tried with him and I got some visions from it, and no drugs involved, but you know, I've been practicing to get into other dimensions without too, so, and with these kind of people who are more into this, they can add the energies. And more local witches, Kasper, and he's very much into like culture from India, and now he has made these necklaces that have some magical powers too. And Mark Whiting, also known as Shakti, he's one of those organizers of the Queer Spirit Festival, where I was just past 5 days. And I remember when he's very good with words and has written lots in his blog, and it's very inspirational. And when he was telling at the Queer Spirit, he was having this phrase like, "We are here, we are queer, we are cosmic." And so I will be reading more of his text. So even like those kind of things that before Christianity and these like male-dominating religions that have dogmas and trying to control people. Before all that, paganism was more widespread, and even like all the queer people were seen more as holy people, and like sex was part of practicing God worship. But now the church has made sex as a sin, and so it's interesting to read like how could things be. And he's also very much into this radical fairies movement, queer movement that started 40 years ago, and they appreciate nature and these kind of things. And more radical fairies. Martin, when I was in Australia, I photographed him, and there were some amazing trees too. So this proportion, this looks like I could just try to copy this, and it would be a nice painting. Autumn, I'll know him, or I met him through clubs like Chaos here in London, where I have played, and is a musician and makes magic through music, and many might have known